Didn't let her know I was awake. Because 2 nights earlier, I discovered something that turned my blood into ice. $200 million. My inheritance. My life's work. My security. Gone. Vanished from my main account as if it had never existed. Hi everyone. My name is Cole Maddox, and this is the story of the morning I realized my wife wasn't just cheating on me, she was trying to replace me. When she left the house, I waited 5 minutes, grabbed my keys and followed. She wasn't careful. She didn't look back. She never imagined I would question her. Why would she? For years she played the part perfectly, loyal, supportive, loving. The flawless mask. But the moment she transferred my money, she became careless, greedy. She arrived at a luxury high-rise downtown, stepping out of her car with a man I recognized instantly, her business consultant. They walked into the Penthouse showroom laughing, her hand on his arm, his hand on the small of her back. I stayed out of sight. Through the glass, I watched her gesture proudly, like she already owned the place. Then I saw the real moment, the one that burned itself into my memory forever. She opened her phone, turned the screen toward him, and whispered, "It's done. The account is empty. He'll never know." He kissed her. She smiled. But her smile vanished seconds later, replaced by confusion, then dread. She stared at the screen again, tapping, refreshing, panicking. Because the number staring back at her wasn't $200 million. It was $0. And I was the reason why. She froze in the middle of the Penthouse showroom, the sales agent mid-sentence, the lover grinning beside her, completely unaware that her entire plan had just detonated in her hands. Her face drained of color. She tapped the screen again. Refreshed. Again. And again. Still $0. Her lover leaned in. "What's wrong?" She swallowed hard. It's not showing. The transfer, it should be there." His smile thinned. "Show me." Reluctantly, she tilted her phone toward him. His expression changed instantly, from excitement to suspicion, then to anger. "What do you mean it's empty?" he hissed. "You said you moved everything. All of it." "I did," she snapped, her voice breaking. "It was there last night." "Last night. That was when I made my move." I stood outside behind a tinted window, invisible, listening to the cracks forming in their perfect little fantasy. My heartbeat didn't rise, didn't fall. I felt nothing. Because this wasn't revenge. This was justice. She whispered frantically, "It must be a glitch." "A glitch?" he said, stepping closer, jaw tight. "You promised me that money. We signed papers. I left my job for this. You said we'd be in the Caymans by Friday." The sales agent politely excused herself. They didn't notice. My wife's hands shook as she opened her banking app again. The login failed. She tried again, and this time a new message flashed across the screen. "Account access revoked. Reported unauthorized activity. Lockdown initiated." Her breath hitched so sharply I felt it from outside. Her lover turned red with rage. "You told me your husband was clueless. You told me he trusted you." And then she whispered the first true sentence she'd spoken in years. He knows." I stepped back from the glass. Because the real show hadn't even started yet. Her lover's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. "What do you mean he knows?" She backed away from him, clutching her phone like it could somehow reverse the disaster unfolding in her hands. I don't know how, but the account is locked. Someone reported it. Someone froze everything." He stepped closer, eyes narrowing. "You said he never checks his balances." "He doesn't," she insisted. "He hasn't in years. He trusts me with all of it." A bitter irony. Because that trust was the very thing I used to dismantle her entire plan. She paced the showroom, her heels echoing like gunshots across the marble floor. "We have to leave. Now. Before anything else happens." "We," her lover snapped. "There is no we without that money." She flinched. The Penthouse agent reappeared with forced politeness. "Would you like to continue the tour?" My wife forced a tight smile, grabbed her bag and practically ran toward the exit, dragging the man behind her. They stepped into the hallway, right in front of me. I didn't move. I just watched. Her lover noticed me first. His step faltered. "Is that?" My wife followed his gaze. The moment her eyes met mine, her entire body jolted like she'd been electrocuted. "See, Cole," she whispered. You're supposed to be at the airport." I stared at the woman who had planned to rebuild her future on the ashes of mine. I said nothing. Because silence can be more terrifying than any threat. She stepped forward, trembling. "Cole, I can explain." "No," I finally said, my voice low and even. "You can't." She reached for me, but her lover grabbed her arm, whispering harshly, "Is he going to the police? Tell me he's not going to the police." She tried to answer, but her voice was gone. And that was the moment she realized the truth. She hadn't stolen $200 million from me. She had handed me the proof of a federal crime against herself. And the walls she'd built around her perfect little scheme? They were about to collapse. Starting now. My wife stood frozen in the hallway, mascara smudged, breath trembling, her lover gripping her arm like she was a sinking ship and he needed something, anything, to stay afloat. "Cole, please," she whispered. "Let's just talk." But she wasn't asking for conversation. She was asking for time. Time to lie. Time to spin. Time to rebuild whatever story she had prepared for the moment I inevitably found out. But she hadn't prepared for this moment. Calm. Silent. Standing directly in her escape route. Her lover stepped between us. "A mistake." "What did you do?" he demanded, his voice sharp. "Did you sabotage the transfer? Are you trying to ruin us?" Interesting word to use in front of someone's husband. I raised an eyebrow. Ruined? I didn't move the money. They both looked confused for a second, then terrified. I continued, "I just reported the unauthorized transaction. The rest, the bank handled on their own." Her lover snapped, "Unauthorized? She had access." "No," I cut in. "She had trust. Not permission." My wife swallowed hard. Her voice cracked. "Cole, you don't understand. I only moved the money temporarily. I was going to put it back." "Stop," I said flatly. "She did. I traced the IP address," I added. "You didn't move it to a holding account. You moved it offshore. Under a fake name." Her lover stiffened. That detail wasn't supposed to be spoken aloud. I took a step closer. "I'm curious," I said quietly. "Would you have even told him? Or were you planning to run with the money alone?" The way she flinched, the way he turned to look at her, that told me everything. His grip loosened. "You said, you promised the account was yours after the transfer. You told me you'd already filed to dissolve the marriage." She panicked. "I was going to. I just needed." But her voice drowned under something louder. The sound of a door opening down the hall. 2 men in suits stepped out. My men. Private investigators I'd hired the moment I noticed missing funds. Her lover's face went white. My wife stumbled back. One of the men approached me. "Mr. Maddox, we have everything. Full evidence. Full timeline. It's airtight." Her lover swore under his breath. My wife whispered, "Cole, what is this?" I finally answered, "Phase 1. Because she had planned phases for me. But she never considered mine. And I wasn't finished. Not even close. The hallway fell silent. My wife's lover stepped back slowly, hands raised as if he were facing a weapon instead of the consequences he helped design. My investigators didn't touch them. They didn't need to. Their presence alone was enough to make guilt crawl up the walls. My wife's voice broke first. "Cole, please. We can fix this. Just tell them to leave. Fix this." As if she hadn't spent months building a life designed to erase mine. I looked at her, really looked, and for the first time I saw what I had refused to see. She wasn't in love with him. She wasn't even in love with freedom. She was in love with money. And she thought $200 million would let her start over without me. Her lover grabbed her wrist. "Is he bluffing? Tell me he's bluffing." My wife didn't answer. Because she saw the folder in my investigator's hand, thick, organized, time-stamped, the kind of file prosecutors dream about. One investigator spoke calmly. "Mr. Maddox, we traced all offshore attempts. The Cayman account was registered under a false identity used by your wife 3 months ago. Fraud. Grand larceny. Conspiracy." Her lover let go of her wrist as if it burned. My wife's knees buckled. "Cole, I wasn't going to run with it. I swear. I just needed a head start. I was scared." I tilted my head. "Scared of what?" Her lips parted, but no words formed. Because the truth was simple. She wasn't scared of losing me. She was scared I'd catch her before she could disappear. Her lover snapped. "So what now? You gonna press charges? Ruin her life?" I stepped closer until he had to tilt his chin up to meet my eyes. "Her life," I said quietly. She tried to erase mine. He opened his mouth to argue. But then the elevator dinged behind us. 2 uniformed officers stepped out. Not summoned by anger. Summoned by documentation. My wife gasped. "Cole, you called the police?" I looked at her, calm and steady. "No," I said. "I called them last night." Her lover swore. The officers approached. But before they reached her, I added one more sentence, the one that made her whole world collapse. And they already have everything. Her face crumpled. Because she finally understood. This wasn't revenge. This was accountability. And the man she underestimated the most was the one holding the truth. The officers didn't speak at first. They simply walked past me and approached my wife, who backed away as if the floor had started tilting beneath her. "Ma'am," one officer said calmly, "we need to ask you a few questions regarding financial activity flagged by your bank." Her lover tensed. Financial activity? She didn't do anything illegal. This is a misunderstanding. The officer glanced at him. "Sir, were you involved in transferring funds out of Mr. Maddox's personal accounts?" He froze. My wife panicked. "No. He wasn't involved, he didn't know anything." I almost laughed. The sudden loyalty, right when it was useless. Her lover snapped, "I'm not going down for this." She told me the money was hers. She told me her husband signed everything over. The betrayal hit fast, desperate, predictable. I turned slightly. "So she lied to you too?" Her lover pointed at her. "I didn't steal anything. She used your signatures. She planned the whole thing. Ask her." My investigators exchanged a knowing glance. Emma's world was collapsing exactly the way she designed mine to. The officer held out a printed sheet, my forged signature. "Ma'am, is this your husband's handwriting?" She stared at the document like it was a loaded gun. I can explain. But explanations don't matter when evidence already speaks. The officer continued, "Multiple offshore attempts, transfer codes traced to your devices, falsified identity documents." Her breathing hitched. "Cole, please. Let's go somewhere private. We can talk. You don't have to do this." I met her eyes. Eyes I once trusted. Eyes that had memorized my passwords, my habits, my weaknesses. "You already did this," I said quietly. "I'm just finishing what you started." Her lover scoffed. "He's done with you. Just admit it. You tried to take everything." "And you helped," I reminded him. He paled. One officer took out handcuffs. My wife stepped back, voice cracking. "Cole, stop them. Don't let this happen. I made a mistake." "No," I said calmly. "You made a choice." The officers took her wrists. Her lover tried to run. He didn't make it 3 steps. As they detained him, the hallway fell silent except for her shaking breath. She looked at me one last time, searching for the man she betrayed, hoping to find softness. But all she found was clarity. Because this moment wasn't about rage. It was about truth catching up. And truth always moves faster than lies. They cuffed her lover first. He didn't resist. Didn't argue. Just kept repeating the same sentence under his breath. "She said it was hers, she said it was hers." The officers guided him toward the elevator, and for a moment, the hallway felt almost weightless, like the tension had finally exhaled. But she was still there. My wife. Emma. Hands trembling. Eyes rimmed with tears she never shed for our marriage. Only for the life she expected to have without me. "Cole," she whispered, barely audible. "Can we please talk before they take me away?" I studied her. Not with hatred. But with clarity I should have had months ago. "You had months to talk," I said quietly. "You chose planning instead." Her chin quivered. "I didn't mean for it to go this far. I felt trapped. I felt like you didn't see me anymore." I stepped forward, cutting off her rehearsed confession. "You weren't trapped," I said. "You were impatient." She flinched. "You wanted the money without the marriage. The lifestyle without the loyalty." Her tears finally fell. "I know, and I'm sorry. Please, Cole, please don't let them arrest me. I'll give you control of everything. I'll sign whatever you want. I'll disappear if you want. Just don't destroy my life." "Destroy your life?" I echoed softly. "Emma, you tried to erase mine." An officer approached her. "Ma'am, we need to proceed." She looked at me then, really looked, realizing for the first time that I wasn't angry. I was done. That terrified her more than rage ever could. As they guided her toward the elevator, she spoke one last time, voice cracking. "You still love me, don't you?" I didn't smile. I didn't break. I just said the truth. "I loved who you pretended to be." The elevator doors started closing. But before they shut fully, I added, "And this isn't revenge, Emma. This is responsibility." The doors sealed. Silence rushed in. For the first time in years, I felt the weight on my chest lift. I was free. But one part remained. The part where I rebuilt what she tried to destroy. The building was quiet after they took her. Too quiet. For a long moment, I just stood there in the hallway, breathing in a version of silence I hadn't felt in years. The kind that doesn't hide anything behind it. One investigator approached. "Mr. Maddox, everything is documented. Charges will hold. You're protected." Protected. A strange word, considering the danger had been sleeping beside me for years. I nodded and signed the final statement. When they left, I walked to the rooftop of the high-rise, the same one she had hoped to buy for her new life, her new identity, her new beginning without me. City lights stretched beneath my feet, endless and cold. $200 million. She didn't fall in love with a man. She fell in love with a number. And numbers, unlike people, don't return affection. My phone buzzed. A message from the bank's fraud department. Full restoration completed. Account secured. No losses. I closed my eyes for a moment. Not out of relief. Out of gratitude, that I caught the truth before it swallowed me. By morning, Emma and her lover were processed, charged, and awaiting arraignment. Bank fraud. Identity theft. Conspiracy. Grand larceny. Attempted offshore laundering. Her lawyer called me twice, begging for leniency. I didn't answer. Not out of spite. Out of self-respect. I returned home and began removing her things from the closet, quietly, methodically, placing each item into a box. Not with anger. With acceptance. She had already left our marriage long before today. I was just catching up to the reality she created. I set the final box by the door and exhaled. I didn't lose a wife. I lost an illusion. And I gained something far more valuable than money. Freedom. Peace. Clarity. Later, as I sat at my kitchen table sipping coffee, I realized the truth that closed the chapter for good. She thought she'd outsmarted me. But she never understood the difference between a man blinded by love and a man awakened by betrayal.